Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Councillor Bellemare, live virtually somewhere else in the world. Welcome. Before we get started with today's meeting, just read the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. We don't have any amendments or adjustments to the council meeting. So the motion by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stakilo, be it resolved that we accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Sobring and seconded by Councillor Ray, be resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meetings. And that's our regular council meeting of November the 18th and our special council meeting of December the 2nd. All in favor? Motion that is carried as well. We'll move to the consent agenda. We have several items today under the consent agenda. So there's some action items. Approval of city accounts due by year end. Be resolved that council hereby authorizes the mayor to ensure review and payment of all accounts falling due by year end in accordance with the city's municipal tendering and procurement policy. And that's recommended by the city manager. Also, the adoption of interim operating financial plan for the period of January 1, 2025 until the adoption of the 2025 financial plan. Be it resolved that in accordance with Section 163 of the Municipal Act, the City of Dauphin has made the following provisional estimates of operating expenditures for the municipality for the period beginning on January 1st until the adoption of our 2025 plan, based on prorated annual expenditures from the beginning of the year to the anticipated date of the financial plan public hearing. And these expenditures are under the general operating requirements, under general government services, $778,085. Under protective services, $1,995,676. Transportation services, $1,024,740. Environmental services, $529,463. Public health and welfare services, $17,625. Environmental development services, $144,214. Economic development, $317,988. And recreation and cultural services, $1,127,221. Under the utility operating requirements, the total water and sewer projections, $1,219,639. And those are all recommended by the city manager. Item number 3, to transfer of excess general and utility revenues to the reserve funds. Whereas the Municipal Act allows the municipality to transfer excess revenue to reserve funds on an annual basis, be it resolved that council authorizes any excess general revenue reported in the 2024 fiscal year to be transferred to the general reserve in accordance with the Municipal Act, subsections 169 bracket 2 and 169 bracket 3, up to a maximum of $1 million. Further be resolved that council authorizes any excess utility reserve reported in 2024 to be transferred to the Water and Sewer Reserve Fund up to a maximum of $750,000. That's also recommended by City Manager. Item number 4, provision to withdraw from the Snow and Ice Reserve Fund. Be it resolved that council authorizes the withdrawal of $100,000 from the Snow and Ice Reserve Fund, or the amount of the actual snow and ice removal costs that exceed the 2024 budget, whichever is the lesser. Item number 5, 2024 added taxes supplemental. Be it resolved that council approves the 2024 added taxes as per Schedule A, which was attached. Item number 6, 2024 council taxes supplemental. Be resolved that council approves the 2024 council taxes as per Schedule B that was attached. And those are recommended by the Director of Finance and the tax clerk. Item number 7, outstanding receivable accounts added to taxes. Be resolved that $739.18 be added from roll number 008900, and that's a replacement of a frozen water meter. And outstanding water accounts, we add 3, roll number 00114000, $57.19. Owner did not pay the final water bill. Roll number 01317000, $564. The tenant did not pay the final water bill. And roll number 01652000, $516.68. The owner did not pay the final water bill, for a total of $1,138.73 that will be added to taxes. That's recommended by the Director of Finance and the Utility Clerk. And then finally, item number 9, 2025 regular council meeting schedule. Be it resolved that council hereby approves the schedule of City of Dauphin regular council meetings slated for 2025 as per Schedule C, which is attached. We had a number of filing items in the consent agenda from Transportation and Infrastructure, Construction Award winners, and just like to note that there was a couple of Dauphin, the City of Dauphin South End project was itemized as a winner of an award, and Strokuski had one of their projects. It was also identified. So congrats to both of those projects. Prairie Mountain Health Newsletter for December, Growing Manitoba Ag Newsletter December, and the Government of Manitoba, their snow removal agreement with the City of Dauphin. Those are all recommended by the city manager. So just Schedule A, just to add to the agenda or to the minutes, that the 2024 supplemental taxes added is a total of $48,658.52. Schedule B, the supplemental taxes canceled were $19,158.12. And so moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering, that all items listed in red under item 5, the consent agenda, be approved and form part of these minutes. All in favor? Opposed, seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, be resolved that council accepts as information the corporate report for the December 9th meeting from the city manager, and that's for the month of November. Charlotte, was there anything you wanted to highlight in that report?
I think the thing I wanted to highlight is that we applied for a lot of grants in November, and that's actually taking us into December as well with another grant opportunity. So I shouldn't say applied. We considered one and decided not to at this time. And we did apply, or considering another one, but it's not due yet, and considered a third one and made that application. And then we also applied for actually one today for climate adaptation mitigation report or study. So we're looking at getting some extra money for our municipality. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Call for the question then. Unless anyone has any questions or comments directly for Charlotte or any information listed in her report. Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that we accept the information corporate report from the Deputy City Manager for the month of November. Lisa, is there anything you wanted to highlight in that report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Bosiak. I'd just like to highlight that David McGinnis started his new role as a bylaw enforcement officer, and I've been spending a significant amount of time providing him with onboarding and training to get him prepared for the various BEO duties with which he will be tasked. David and his Barkland team is also the city's contracted animal services provider. He is a very sharp, quick learner, and he shows the kind of interest, good judgment, and engagement that I know will contribute to a productive year in bylaw enforcement in 2025. And November was Radon Action Month, and I worked through the month to roll out messaging and initiatives to raise awareness about the risks of radon and to provide direction regarding testing and mitigation. We launched our library lending program for digital radon screening devices and the 100 free radon test kit giveaway. And as of this afternoon, all of the 100 test kits have been given out. I also organized a radon information session at the library on December 3rd, where I was joined by representatives from Health Canada and the Manitoba Lung Association to provide information and answer questions about radon testing, mitigation, and resources for financing. And the turnout for this session was absolutely spectacular. We had more than 100 people in attendance, and Sandy Hutchison from Health Canada said that he does these information sessions across Canada, and he's never seen anything even close to this with the numbers that turned out. So definitely seeing a shift in awareness, and given the number of calls and inquiries about radon that I've been fielding in recent weeks, I can certainly see a positive shift in awareness, and residents are now motivated to take action on radon because of this campaign. And the Animal Services Bylaw 07-2024 is going for second and third reading later in the agenda, and perhaps at that time I could provide a few highlights about the changes in the amended bylaw. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And just on that radon thing, I know that oftentimes it's public awareness or awareness that's needed for the public to actually get engaged. And so to have that level of engagement of our community certainly will hopefully allow them to deal with any situations that they may have, considering the dangers associated with it. Call for the question. Anyone have any questions then for Lisa? No? Call for the question, and all in favor of that motion? Carried. Thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobring, that we accept the corporate report from the ICT manager for the month of November. Any questions or comments regarding information in that report from any member of council? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be resolved that the finance accounts, having been examined by members of council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. We had 89 checks in the previous run for a total of $3,629,254.85. There were no voided checks in the current range, no voided checks in the past range. And during this period, there were 4 electronic payments for a total of $192,016.77. Questions or comments regarding the finance account report? Charlotte, make a comment, certainly.
$3.6 million is a very large check run from the last, since the last council meeting. So just wanted to highlight a few of those. 4 of those expenditures made up almost $3 million of that. Russell Ready Mix for the South End project, $433,000. Assiniboine Injectors was the lagoon dislodging was just over $1 million. Sterling Enterprises for paving this year, $938,000, and a quarterly payment for policing, $652,000. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements for the period ending October 24, and that's the general fund balance sheet and income statement and the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Any questions or comments regarding these 2 reports? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be resolved that we accept as information the reserve report for the period ending October 2024. Any questions or comments about anything in the reserve report? All in favor then of that motion? Anyone opposed? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Sobring. Be resolved that we accept as information the budget variance analysis for the period ending October 2024. Questions or comments regarding the budget variance? Charla has a comment.
Again, just to help everybody understand what some of these numbers are. So this is prepared to the end of October, so we're honing in on what our surplus will be. Still looking at not narrowing down that number, but noting that the general fund will have a surplus and that the utility fund might. I guess it looks like it will have a surplus, but less than what we anticipated because of that delay in the updating of the utility rates. That being said, after I spoke about it at our last council meeting, I think the very next day we got word that it was approved by the municipal board. So there is the second and third reading of those rates in our bylaw section, and those rates will start on January 1st. And just a brief comment up in the consent agenda where it talked about allowing us to transfer up to $1 million of general fund surplus and up to $750,000 of utility fund surplus. By no means are those the numbers for what we are projecting our surpluses to be. We're just putting in a resolution of that would be like the very top end, so that when we do find out what those are, we can transfer the entire surplus to our reserve accounts. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of council? Call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be resolved that we accept as information the engineering staff report for the building inspector for the month of November. Any questions, comments about the building inspector's report? No, it's interesting just to see the year-over-year comparison. Obviously, 2024 was a busy year, and the amount of permits and work being done in our community is substantial. So again, hats off to council and administration and staff, and obviously the public and private sector that are investing in our community. So I think those are all positive signs for us going forward. Call for the question then. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Be resolved that council accepts information, the minutes and reports from the following committee, and that's Dauphin Rec Services, their October 30th board meeting, and Fort Dauphin Museum, their meeting in October, and the manager's report for November. Any members of council on any of these committees wish to comment, or anyone else have comments about these reports? No. All in favor then? Anyone opposed? Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray. Whereas Culture Days has become the largest cultural event in Canada, attracting millions of annual attendees to thousands of free activities and performances hosted by artists, cultural organizations, and municipalities in hundreds of communities across the country. And whereas Culture Days is an annual national awareness campaign and cultivates in a 3-week celebration of the arts, and in 2024, hundreds of cities, towns, and regions of all sizes embraced Culture Days to create, share, and celebrate their artist organizations and creative communities, attracting a record national audience estimated at 5 million people at over 4,000 events. And whereas Dauphin is a lively participant in the annual Fall Culture Day celebration, driven by the creative minds at the Watson Arts Centre and featuring events around the city that showcase the city's vibrant arts and culture, including Dauphin's signature Yard Fringe event, a bike cavalcade that tours the city to encounter and participate in creative arts and activities and brings the community together to celebrate our heritage, diversity, and creativity. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated December the 5th from Shannon Bowler, Executive Director of Culture Days National, congratulating Dauphin for being recognized on the Culture Days 2024 Top Participating Communities in Canada listing, ranking 10th among towns and rural areas, with an impressive 50-plus events organized for our 2024 event. Further be resolved that Council acknowledges the success and importance of Culture Days in promoting the arts and culture in Dauphin, and extends their gratitude to the Dauphin and District Allied Arts Council and all the local artists, volunteers, and participants who make these events possible, recognizing their contribution to fostering a vibrant and connected community through creative expression. Any other comments regarding this resolution? No, seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moved by Counselor Sobering, seconded by Counselor Daly. Whereas the high water event that occurred in May 2022 caused damage to the area around the abutments of the Eric Irwin Bridge, which connects Vermilion Park to the Vermilion Sportsplex. And whereas the Disaster Financial Assistance Grant Program administered by Manitoba EMO provided funding to restore the bridge and walking trails near the bridge. And whereas when the bridge was constructed in 2016, there was insufficient riprap stone protection placed along the riverbank at the abutments, contributing to the erosion. And whereas the DFA program does not fund mitigation measures, but allows municipalities to utilize their DFA deductible payments for mitigation funding through the Mitigation and Preparedness Program, which the city received and placed into a reserve, be it resolved that council accepts this information, a Mitigation and Preparedness Program contribution agreement signed by the city in May 2023 and a memo dated December 4th from the Director of Public Works and Operations, noting that the city was able to access funds to fulfill the riverbank erosion mitigation in affected areas through EMO's program, and recommending that the city's portion of the project cost be paid by this reserve. Further be resolved that council agrees with the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and Operations and authorizes the city's project costs for erosion mitigation by the MPP Reserve Fund. Questions or comments regarding this motion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Stikilo. Whereas the City of Dauphin has a municipal emergency plan, and whereas the regulation of Manitoba's Emergency Measures Act requires the municipal emergency plan to be reviewed and updated yearly, be it resolved that Council accepts as information the 2025 Municipal Emergency Plan for the city as reviewed and updated by the Municipal Emergency Coordinator and the City Manager. Questions or comments regarding this? All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray, whereas Dr. Brenna Haverluck is constructing a new Medi Spa at the corner of 3rd Street Southwest and 7th Avenue Southwest, which has a professionally appraised value of $2.7 million and will be just over 6,900 square feet and will employ approximately 8 workers. Be resolved that council accepts a memo dated November 14th from the Economic Development Manager advising that Dr. Haverluck has requested a commercial incentive and recommending the following incentives for a value of up to $17,000 be approved. And they are an incentive on utility connection up to $12,000 with payment upon obtaining occupancy and providing there are no outstanding invoices with the city. And secondly, an incentive in the full first year of operation equal to 25% of the net difference in municipal property taxes, and incentive in second full year of operation equal to 25% of the net difference of municipal property taxes up to $5,000 total. Further be resolved that council agrees with the Economic Development Manager's recommendation and approves the incentive for this construction as outlined above. Questions or comments regarding this? No? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Councillor Ray, whereas in recent months, the city has seen significant interest from developers in increasing the city's housing stock, which holds both a promise for sustainable growth in our community and also potential impact on the city's infrastructure. Be it resolved that council accepts as info a memo dated November 25th from the Director of Public Works, noting that the city's current water distribution study dated in 1999 and sanitary collection system study dated 2016 did not consider growth in new areas of potential development, and recommending that the city partner with the Manitoba Water Services Board to procure a consulting firm to review the city's infrastructure and provide modeling for considering new development areas. Further be resolved that council agrees to the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and supports the city's request to the Manitoba Water Services Board to provide technical and financial assistance to assess the city's water and sanitary system and its capacity, including modeling, to accommodate anticipated future development in Dauphin. questions about this resolution? Or Mike, do you have any comments regarding anything in this?
No, it's just our water system hasn't been reviewed for about 25 years. We've made significant improvements to the system since with our renewal programs. Sanitary system is fairly recent, the study. However, almost immediately after it was done, it was obsolete because a lift station was put online that was not included or looked at in the study. So it was the system doesn't act the way it was originally modeled based on a pressurized system being added into it. So we want to look at it from a more useful standard for us. So.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Sobering?
Yeah, I just want to say I really appreciate this proactive approach. It's nice to be shovel ready. I think we have a lot of interest for development, commercial and residential, and this is a great step forward for the city just to be ready. So when people arrive, we know what we have and what we can add. And yeah, hopefully I have to do one of these every 5 years.
Anyone else? Councillor Bellemare?
No, this will look at our entire system and its entire capacity and everything. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Anyone else? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Stigalo. Whereas the city participates in the Dutch elm disease tree removal program through Manitoba Economic Development, Investment, Trade, and Natural Resources. And whereas on October the 28th, the city of Dauphin released an RFP for the removal of 191 Dutch elm disease trees as identified by the Forestry and Peatlands branch. Be it resolved that council accepts information, a memo dated December 8th from the deputy city manager noting that 3 RFP submissions were received and recommending that the contract be awarded to the lowest qualified bidder, Tree Pro, care of Jordy Goosen from Altona, Manitoba. Further be resolved that council agrees with the deputy city manager's recommendations and awards the contract for the removal of 195 Dutch elm disease trees to Tree Pro for a total of $59,563.35, including GST, with the work to be done on or before February the 28th, 2025. Questions or comments regarding this program? I would just like to state that when I was a rec director back in the 90s, the city was involved in this program, as were many other municipalities in the province. The province capped the funding or reduced funding for a reason back in the day, and a lot of communities dropped off the program, but I would acknowledge that the city of Dauphin did not, and so we're continuing to get some support from the province as one of the few rural/urban municipalities that are continuing with the program, and I think it's done our Dutch elm or our elm tree population great service, and
And one of the things to note is because of that decision made a long time ago, and Dauphin is still in that program, there is no way to get into the program today. So there are a lot of municipalities who have asked, several times, how did you get into it? And I said, it's only because of history. And then we asked the province, how would one get into it now? And there is no opportunity for that.
yeah, and so it's an ongoing issue with elm trees in particular, but there's also other diseases because of climate change and ash and other trees. But this has kept our elm tree population in fairly decent condition, considering there's a number of removals each and every year. All in favor of this motion? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sobering. Whereas the city has been leasing office space at CNR Place, which is the the old CN station, to MCW Consultants since 2007, and they currently occupy 1,438 square feet in Unit C and D under a 5-year lease at a rate of $19.40 per foot, which expires on December 31st of this year. And whereas the current lease agreement between the city and MCW Consultants allows for the extension of the term for additional 5 years, which MCW has expressed interest in exercising, be it resolved that council accepts as info a memo dated November 15th from the Deputy City Manager recommending approval of a lease extension between the city and MCW Consultants for Unit C and D for a 5-year term from January the 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2029 at a monthly rate of $22 a square foot or $2,637.39. Further be resolved that council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and authorizes the lease extension between the city and MCW Consultants, outlining the terms noted above and signed and sealed by the mayor and manager on behalf of the city. Questions or comments? All in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Daly, whereas according to the City of Dauphin travel and expense policy, all out-of-province travel must receive prior approval by council, and whereas Councillor Daly has expressed interest in attending the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Sustainable Communities Conference in Fredericton, New Brunswick on February 10th to 13th, 2024, and is hereby requesting approval to attend, be it resolved that council approves this out-of-province request from Councillor Daly to attend this conference in New Brunswick on February 10th to 13th and authorizes all costs to be borne by the City of Dauphin. I'll just note that that's 2025, not 2024, as printed on this. Anyone want to approve Councillor Daly's transport? Let's have a little, no. All in favor of the motion? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Councillor Daly, you're going east in February. Yay. Perfect. What a great time to visit Fredericton. Take your snow boots and your sandals. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Whereas each year council reviews the citizen appointments for external committees and boards for the next year's term, be it resolved that council approves the 2025 city appointments as outlined in Schedule D. I'll just quickly read through this. The Dauphin Community Band, Candace McMillan, a 2-year term, January 2025 to December 2026. And Dauphin Community Band, Shelley Kowalik, also a 2-year term for the same period, and Tanner Bennett, a 2-year term for the same period. The General Hospital Foundation, Lynn Smith, a 1-year term. Communities in Bloom, Teresa Delhos, a 3-year term. Communities in Bloom, Joanna Cooper, also a 3-year term. Dauphin Public Library, Jeanette Kachkowski, a 2-year term. Dauphin Regional Airport Authority, Mike Sversko, a 2-year term, and the Intermountain Watershed District, Jerry Miller, a 1-year term. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Thank those community volunteers for participating. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray, whereas the City of Dauphin contracts 911 service from the City of Brandon and the 911 fee schedule is updated each October, be resolved that council accepts as information 911 service agreement, Schedule A, and correspondence dated November 15th from Robert Stewart, the Director of Emergency Communications for the City of Brandon, noting that the 2025 fee includes a 3% increase. Further be resolved that council forwards the funding request to our 2025 budget deliberations for consideration. Questions or comments regarding this? All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly, be it resolved that bylaw 11-2023, bylaw of the City of Dauphin to establish water and wastewater rates now be read a second time as amended. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none is carried. And the subsequent motion, moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stakilo, be it resolved that bylaw 11-2023 being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to establish water and wastewater rates, be now read a third time as amended and be signed and sealed by the mayor and city manager. Because this is the third reading of a bylaw, we need a recorded vote, so I'll go around the room. Councillor Sobring, Deputy Mayor Laughlin, Councillor Stakilo, Councillor Bellemare, yay, Councillor Ray, Councillor Daly, and I'm in, so we're good. Motion is passed unanimously. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that bylaw 07-2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin regulating the standard of care and management of animals within the City of Dauphin, be now read a second time as amended. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. And moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that bylaw 07-2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin regulating the standard of care and management of animals within the limits of the City of Dauphin, be now read a third time as amended and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Lisa, is there anything you wanted to comment before we?
Yes, I just wanted to highlight that since this bylaw passed first reading on November 18th, we rolled out a series of educational social media posts to highlight some of the key concepts and changes reflected in the bylaw. And we also wanted to draw attention to our community consultation survey. We received 216 completed surveys, which was absolutely fantastic, with a lot of excellent feedback, and folks were very engaged with the content. I met with Councillor Daly, the city manager, the director of finance, and the animal services officer on December 6th to review the feedback, and we determined which concepts and changes we would incorporate into the amended bylaw. So I just wanted to point out that all of the survey responses indicated overwhelming support for all of the proposed concepts and changes. And some of them who indicated that they did not support it were often that it was often the case that they actually wanted tighter restrictions, even like for tethering. So we incorporated some of the feedback into the bylaw. So we changed the maximum number of companion animals per property from 6 to 5. So this brings the number of permitted per household down by 1 over the draft bylaw, but it still permits 1 more animal per property than is currently allowed. For the list of prohibited animals, the lengthy and very specific classification of prohibited animals has been changed to more general prohibition on livestock, wildlife, and venomous dangerous animals, with discretion given to the animal services officer to assess the possession of a non-companion animal on a case-by-case basis. In tethering and confinement, I think there was a lot of support for even greater restrictions on tethering, but we wanted to recognize that these proposed parameters are a significant step forward and a good first step towards a phased-in approach. And we did add in a clause in subsection 10 that gives the animal services officer greater discretion when evaluating any animal welfare-related concerns. So that would include taking breed, size, and coat into consideration when evaluating the status of animals kept outside or tethered. Also, we removed the clause on animal performances so that we could just focus more solely on the welfare and management of pets. And we stayed with lifetime licensing. However, we removed the higher redemption fee for unvaccinated animals found to be at large, and instead the owner of an at-large animal would be given 10 days to have the animal vaccinated for rabies, or otherwise a $100 fine would be applied. And we also made some minor changes to the fees. So we lifetime license fee, but we reduced the fees a little bit in each category just to make them more affordable so that we can ensure that every pet in Dauphin is licensed. And also increased the fee for sterilized cats from free to $25 per cat, so that cat owners are helping to subsidize animal services, SNAP, and TNR. And finally, we added some wording to accommodate licensed dogs visiting outside the city. And we actually saw 80% support for trap, neuter, and return. However, this was the topic that generated the most lively comments, which was to be expected. So we are pursuing the TNR program. We recognize that we may need some more messaging to help the public understand that without TNR, there inevitably will be an increase in the number of stray and feral cats over time, and with TNR, there will be fewer feral stray cats over time. So we are very happy with the outcome of this bylaw. It's a tremendous leap forward for animals welfare and management in Dauphin. And it's our hope that this will serve as a model bylaw for other municipalities in Manitoba to follow. Thank you.
Councillor Daly, since you sat on that group, is there anything you wanted to add or?
Just that it's Deputy City Manager Gadet did a ton of work and research on this thing, which was very impressive. So I think we're fully covered on the changes in the sort of the philosophy of how you want to manage pets and animals in the city. I think with our new ASO, he's very involved and had excellent input. So I'm pretty happy with how it looks and how it'll roll out. Plus, it as many items in there that are better. There's also teeth in this. I should mention that the ASO has been given authority to deal with issues and not have to sort of keep pushing them down the road. So very impressive job. I was excited to be part of it. Thank you.
Any other members of council have comments? Councillor Bellemare, I knew you would. That's why I got Randy in first, but go ahead. Thank you. Anyone else? Call for the question. All in favor? Actually, we have to do the recorded vote. So, yep. All right. Just make sure I'm following all the rules. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan. Deputy Mayor Gaudette. I'm not sure about this. No. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Sticalo. Be resolved that bylaw 08, 2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to prescribe fees, fines, and charges for municipal services, be now read a second time. All in favor? No one opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sticalo. Be resolved that bylaw 08 2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to prescribe fees, fines, and charges for municipal services, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Any questions or comments before we go for the vote?
I just wanted to comment, Mayor Bozak, that actually, so both of those resolutions we will add in as amended because they were, the fees, fines, and charges bylaw was amended to reflect the changes that came about in the discussions regarding the animal services bylaw. So there were minor changes related to animal services fines, fees, just reflecting the changes that I just outlined within the lifetime pet licensing fees and removing the increase for redemption of unvaccinated animals at the Animal Services Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Recorded vote, Sobering, yes. Lachlan, yes. Siccarlo, yes. Bellemare, yes. It's like marking papers, eh, Ted? Everybody gets a check mark and carry on. No. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sticalo, be resolved that bylaw 09, 2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin for the purpose of appointing David McInnes as special constable, be now read a second time. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Ray, be resolved that bylaw 09/2024, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin for the purpose of appointing David McInnes as special counsel, will be now read a third time and to be signed and sealed by the mayor and city manager. As its third reading, it's a recorded vote. Councillor Sobring? Yeah. Bellemare, yes. I guess it's more like Bellamere's class then, hey, Councillor Ray? All the check marks and good work and little gold stars for everyone. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be resolved that council accepts information. The following community event, and that's Mountain View School Division, their violence risk threat assessment training, which is scheduled for January 21st and 22nd, 2025. Questions or comments? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakalo. Be resolved that council accepts as information that councillors' reports for the regular council meeting of December the 9th. And since it's moved by Councillor Bellemare, we'll put her on the spot first and let her go virtually. Here you go, Councillor Bellemare. Thank you, Councillor Bellemare, and I'm glad to see you're putting some cream on that shiny nose of yours. Enjoying the sun somewhere. All right, where do we go next? Councillor Ray looks like he's ready for.
I'm ready. Thank you, Mayor. November 18th, I attended the last regular council meeting. From the 25th to the 27th, I also was at the AMM Provincial Conference in Winnipeg. On the 29th, I had a band committee meeting here at City Hall. And I'd just like to remind everyone that tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the WAC, the concert and jazz bands are putting on a Christmas concert, which is silver collection only. So be nice to get out to that. November 30th, I took part in the Parade of Lights. And definitely the fat bike should be a tradition, much easier than jogging. December 2nd, I was at City Hall for the Board of Revisions meeting, and then followed that up with the Planning and Priorities meeting to follow. December 5th, I attended the special council meeting here at City Hall. On the 6th, I went to the Staff Appreciation Christmas Party at the WAC and had a great time, won a couple prizes. Mr. Mayor, did you win anything? It was very well organized. I'd just like to congratulate Lisa and Trudy on their organization as well. We had over 71 people attend, which was great. And December 9th, that was earlier today. I attended the Community Safety Wellbeing Teams meeting, and I too would just like to wish everyone a happy holiday and happy new year as well. And if you have to go venture out of the city, please drive safe. That concludes
Thank you,
my
Councillor Ray. Councillor Daly, we'll call on you next.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I attended the regular council meeting on the 18th of November. I also attended the AMM conference in Winnipeg, 25th, 27th November. On the 30th of November, I drove the city float in the Parade of Lights. There were no incidences or didn't run over anybody. 2nd of December, I attended the Board of Revision session here at City Hall, and then P&P at 5 p.m. On the 4th of December, I was attended the Protective Services meeting here in Council Chambers in the afternoon. On the 5th of December, I attended a rec meeting here in Chambers. 6th of December, I spent time with Deputy Minister, did you get promoted again? Deputy Manager Gadet and City Manager Griffiths, along with Dave McGinnis, ASO, to review the bylaw. That evening also, Friday night, I attended the same appreciation party. It was a very nice evening. I won nothing, but Mrs. Daly won a popcorn maker, so we're pretty happy with that. And this afternoon, at lunch, I attended the MMF Community Advisory Board meeting at the 11th Avenue Hall. The update on the clothing store is there is no place for it to go right now. We have exhausted almost every opportunity we could think of. Obviously, space, resources, and finances are the issues. We're still going to continue to try to get something done. Also, Shannon Janai, who oversees the Warm Safe Space, says anybody wanting to donate to the Warm Safe Space for Christmas and beyond, prefer if it were gift cards from grocery stores instead of everybody dropping off a can of beans kind of thing. And mitts, gloves, or, toques, the usual light winter stuff. They really can't manage, I don't think, parkas and that kind of stuff. Hoodies are a good thing to have. They're operating quite well. They're busy. Sergeant Andrew Seeley was also there, and he spoke to the relationship that's developing between the RCMP and the Warm Safe Space, and they're both sides have said it's working really well as far as how things are being managed there. Even though there are incidents, they're not out of control, and it could have been much worse if those folks weren't in the Warm Safe Space. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. Councillor Sobering, you ready to go?
Always ready to go, Mr. Mayor. I was in attendance at the November 18th regular meeting. I just want to give a big shout out actually just to the Culture Days. That's a really great acknowledgement. I know it's a summer event or fall time, but it's just a real big thing in Dauphin, and it's I know there's a few people in there that really put it all out there. So big congrats to that acknowledgement. The economic development meeting I was supposed to attend was postponed because we had a number of other meetings that same day. But on the economic development side, Dauphin's is once again a little bit of an upswing. The big congrats goes to Joe Houston and his group, who moved into the old Prairie Supply Co. to reopen the Go Beyond Games. And I believe Prairie Corner is going to expand to fill up the vacant space. So that's always great to see in the downtown. And just today, hot off the presses on Instagram, looks like 50 Memorial Boulevard got purchased to become the new Caddy's Golf Simulator and Lounge. So that's pretty interesting. It's good to see some action happening there. That is going to be a hot area for economic development for certain. And I also, I just want to say I attended the special meeting on Board of Revisions, which was good. And then we followed up with the preliminary budget, capital spending. And I just want to thank everybody who participated in that one for their openness and supportive attitude and positivity. And it was just really appreciated. I did volunteer putting some smiles on cookies, some squints as well. I did a tour for the Assiniboine College Business Program. Took them through a couple businesses, Pathways and Obsolete Brewing Company, and that was really good. They got a really good group of students there, and they're always good to encourage entrepreneurship in Dauphin and opportunities. And outside of that, I think that's it for my report. Just a big happy holidays, Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate, and just have fun and stay safe. And that ends my report.
Deputy Mayor Lachlan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, November 18th, that regular council meeting here at City Hall. On the 21st, we had an airport board meeting at City Hall as well. I too attended the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Fall Conference in Winnipeg. Obviously, lots of great networking and good discussion there. When we got back, we had an employee relations meeting here at City Hall on November 28th. On the 30th, I battled for my life on a fat bike in the Dauphin Christmas Parade, not because I was on a bike, but because I had to go at a very slow pace, and I get antsy and want to go fast on a bike, and that was the problem. Nonetheless, a great parade, really job well done by the organizers, and I think they said 48 floats. I'd say pretty much all of them were really nicely decorated, so hats off to the organizers there. On December 2nd, a special council meeting here at City Hall, and that was followed by the Planning and Priorities meeting. And then on December 5th, we had a special recreation meeting here at City Hall as well. And for me, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone out there watching, including Charlotte's parents, and we'll see you in 2025.
Thank you. And Councillor Sticalo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, November 18th, regular council meeting. November 21st, airport board meeting. November 25th to the 27th, AMM in Winnipeg. And then December 2nd, special council meeting, followed by the P&P meeting. A big thanks to all the staff that helped put their pen to paper and crunch the numbers and come up with all the information that is required for that meeting. And then December 5th, rec board meeting here at City Hall. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and all the best in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just to wrap up, all I wanted to add at the end was just to reflect a little bit on the P&P, our meeting last Monday. We kind of submarine the agenda, but had, I think, probably the most powerful and thought-provoking discussion that we've had in a couple of years. And I think that, both staff and council left that meeting going, okay, this is pretty interesting. We got a lot of good stuff in front of us, and let's go and get it. And so I just want to acknowledge both staff and council's participation in that thought-provoking and positive discussion, because I think there was just a lot of great things said and shared and discussed, and the tone and tenor of the discussion was so positive that I think that it just, runways available for us for the next 2 years. So I'm just so pleased how that worked out. As well, same thing, best wishes for the rest of the year, and I look forward to 2025. So with that, call for the question. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. And motion by Deputy Mayor Lachlan, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, be resolved that council meeting be recessed at 6 p.m. All in favor?